Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. And yes, I am wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday. A lot of times, it's pretty routine that I'll wear a shirt or clothing for about 48 hours before I change clothes. Unless I've like gone for a run where I'm like completely sweated out or really dirty, then I'll change. But most of the time, yeah, I'll go a couple days wearing the same clothes before I feel a need to change. And honestly, if more people behave like that, there'd probably be a lot more fresh water for the rest of the world and places that really need it. It'd also be less money you have to spend on, your washer and dryer and your water bill. So that's the way I like to roll. And another thing too, I'm just gonna say this: the more you spend time in things that you don't wash, like this beanie and like my hats, I don't wash them. And I don't want to wash them. And honestly, if you were to continue wearing your clothes, it's just, they carry your energy. So like the more that you're doing, the more that you're working, the more that you are, the more that you continue to wear them without washing them, the more you're going to perpetuate that energy that you've been doing. So if you've been doing a lot of good work, this is why I think superstitiously you'll hear about athletes and even warriors, they don't like washing certain parts of their gear because they feel like it has a superstitious quality that helps protect them in battle. And I believe in the same thing, very much so. In fact, one time one of my friends spilled some beer on my shoes and he ended up washing them at night. I didn't know about it until the morning when I woke up and I saw they were different. I'm like, what's going on here? Why do my shoes look different? And upon investigation, I found out he'd washed them and this and that. And then I talked with him about it. I was like, okay, I appreciate you doing that. First of all, you didn't tell me. I had to find my shoes. They were in a different condition than when I went to sleep, so that was a little strange. And then, you went ahead and washed them, which is cool because you took care of the problem. But what you don't know about me is I really appreciate the energy that I built up inside of those shoes. So if you just spilled a little bit of beer, like depending on how bad it was, I might have just left them as be. Because it's not as bad to have a little bit of beer in my shoes as it is to wash away all this beautiful energy that's taken me who knows how long, maybe years to develop. And just in that one instance of putting the water on there and the washing, you can scrub and get rid of a lot of stuff that took a long time to accumulate, which is very valuable to me when you're talking about essence and passion and essentially magic. So I just want to say that. But yes, this is the same shirt I was wearing yesterday, and I'm aware of that. I'm okay with that. On another topic, I want to talk about irony and the new, or I should say a new, but like there's been a popular Netflix series called The Last Kingdom, and it's based on real events actually about a Danish or a northerner Viking type. He's a real guy, real character. This stuff really happened. It's based on actual effects. I'm sure they changed some stuff around for the movies or for cinematography or whatever you want to call it for Hollywood purposes, but it's based on real life stuff that went down in history involving the Vikings and Christianity in England and the fight between the Saxons and the Normans and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a good series. I enjoyed it. And they just made a movie, which looks like it's the conclusion of the series. And it has the same lead dude in it, which seems like a cool guy. And, it's just interesting because, like, me, 6 months ago, I'd be really interested in that. And that would have been one of the things that I would have jumped to immediately. But since watching it, or since seeing that it's been available, there's been quite a few days where I haven't watched it, which is unusual for me. And then last night I decided to go ahead and just give it a shot. It was at nighttime. I'd already done my days of work, and so I thought I'd try to watch a movie. And I'm watching this movie, and I've been picking up on this for some time. I wasn't just watching this movie, this came to me, but since I think getting more sober and spending more time on this project and just my life and love and what really needs to happen here and in my life too, I've come to realize like how much energy and time we spend or is spent on both the production and the observation of these violent, films that often depict a lot of bravery, a lot of heroism, a lot of really good symbology and themes. But there's a lot of it all over Netflix, all over the internet. I mean, it's all over the place. And it's like we're filled with all of these stories and these characters and these themes and these feelings of doing things of courageousness, of inspiration, of beauty, of love, of fighting the good fight. And, it's very mesmerizing. And it seems like people really like it, which is great. But then you look at the real world and it's like there's a lack of that in the real world. And it's just ironic to live in a time when there's so much of that information available for us just from pushing a button. And all we got to do is sit in our beds and watch this adventure play out in itself. And again, it's not necessarily the movie's fault or even the actor's fault, although they do help perpetuate complacency, in my opinion. But it really is our fault. Like, we could use these movies to help motivate us and inspire us to actually bring about these type of stories to real life. I mean, they already are, but there's just levels to it. Like, there's times in the stories when you got to make a choice. Are you going to go down this path, or you're going to go down this path? And I think we're at those crossroads within the time and space, and what's going on with humanity is we got to make a choice. Are we going to continue with the way we've been doing shit, or are we going to try something different? Are we going to try something that seems to be more in line with the overall harmony of everything? Or are we going to continue down a pathway that seems to be disharmonious with just about everything? So yeah, you know, it was just ironic for me to realize that we live in a time when there's so much of this information out there, and yet there's so little people actually talking about bringing that type of information to actual life. So I encourage you guys, do what you can to help bring these stories and these characters and these themes and these lessons, because a lot of this stuff happened in real life. Like Joan of Arc, she was real. This guy in Last Kingdom, he was real. Gandhi was real. Buddha was real. Jesus was real. We've had tons of messengers and people that have shown us what it takes to fight back spiritually. It's up to us to appreciate, to value those lessons, and to use those lessons and apply them to our lives so that we can actually bring about a good change in this planet, which is what I think a large number of us were here to do. And then I think the rest of the humanity will follow in our lead, because I think that what we are doing, the seeds that we will be planting are the type of seeds that humanity really wants to be around. It's just that humanity is easily manipulated, and they're gullible. Like, they can be easily swayed. So all we gotta, which is good, I mean, it can be good and bad. It can be bad if they're swayed the bad way, but if we sway them the good way, I think that it'll be, you know, it's gonna catch like wildfire. So, all right, I love you guys and hope you all have a good day. All right, bye.